Hello, Tab Nation. It's your boy Tom, and today I'm doing a version 1, version 2 of AutoHotkey video. This is one that I've used in the past in a work environment. Basically, we had a problem where we had a huge AutoHotkey script, and people just, even though we sent emails out saying like, look, there's an update, you need to update, we fixed, some problems, or we've changed some wording that needs to go out to the client properly. And yeah, it was crazy how many people just would delete those emails and not even update the version of the software we were using, or just never restarted their computer. And that caused a lot of issues with people not restarting their computer. I mean, they would go months without a restart, and then they get all confused of why something's not working and it's causing issues. And it's like, well, you're like 5 versions back. Your software hasn't, restarted to get the new information or whatever. And it was really bad, to the point where we kind of came up with something like this. This will be linked in the description below. This is version 1 right here of AHK. And it's basically just a way to check if my computer, how long my computer's been on. So we did something like this where it basically could check the time, but in this one we're just looking how long it's been. So after 5 days, we're gonna force your computer to just restart regardless. Like, hey, if you didn't do it on your own time, like, sorry, I know you're probably using your computer right now, but it could cause major financial issues if information is going out incorrectly and stuff. So as you see, like right here, I have an if check for 3 hours. If it's been on for more than 3 hours, I obviously don't recommend doing that. Just put whatever number you want in here. Maybe it restarts every 24 hours. So if it is 24 hours, we're going to do a shutdown. That's a simple command. It's just shutdown -2. What does that 2 stand for? If you come down here, it is reboot. So there's different ones. You could have it auto log off. That's another useful one. You just have it shut down, power down. Force. Force is in case there's an application. Sometimes you restart and it's like, hey, you're running this application. Are you sure you want to restart? This is going to say yes, basically, without input from them. Yeah. Okay, my green screen's being a little weird over here. Whatever. But yeah, that's basically what that's going to do. So just kind of play around with those numbers depending on what setting you want. But yeah, on this one, let me go ahead and actually run it. What is this one called? Testing 2. And what this is going to do is we're going to press F1. It's going to set a timer, and should I restart? You can name this whatever, obviously. But it's going to check every 10 seconds. I don't really recommend doing every 10 seconds. You can make it like every hour just to see if it's hitting that 24-hour mark. But for the sake of this video, obviously we're just doing, that. So whatever. And yeah, what it's going to do is every 10 seconds, it's going to jump down here to our function. We're going to get a message box. Once again, you don't really need that. That's more for the sake of this video. And it's going to, check the uptime, tick count, which is a built-in variable for keeping track of time. Basically, hour check, it's going to go through, change it up, convert it into something more readable, which you'll see here because we'll get that message box. And then it's going to check how many hours it's been going for. So the uptime right here is calling upon this function here. Once again, this will be in the settings below, or the description below, because this is kind of a lot to look at and pause the video and try to type, especially because it won't all fit on the screen, but hey, whatever. Yeah, we're just doing basically we're doing a DLL call here, which, as you can see, it's kind of grabbing like the hours, the minutes, even the seconds. You don't have to get that fancy if you don't want that much information, obviously, because that's a bit much. Yeah, and then basically we're just kind of converting everything here to better wording, because we're converting it to days for zeros and ones, because if it says 5 days or 1 hours, it doesn't really make sense. 1 hours, it should just be 1 hour. But if it's 2, then it's 2 hours. So this is just more of like a wording. You don't really have to have this if you're fine with the wording not being correct, especially because this is running in the background, so even your user's not even going to know. We're just saving this all into the B up here. And yeah, hopefully that made sense. Like I said, this is more of kind of like a showcase versus teaching video. So yeah, just check those out. Another thing I want to point out down here too is you can combine these numbers to make other stuff. So we want to do a force reboot. So you're not going to put a 2 and a 4 in there. You're just going to add them, and it's actually going to be 6. So 6 would be a force reboot. Force shutdown would be 5, because the 4 and the 1 is going to be 5. And that's just kind of what you're putting up here into this spot here in the syntax. So yeah, that's what that means. Yeah, let's run this real quick. Oh, I already have it running. So I'm going to go ahead and press F1. That timer right here went off, so it's waiting about 10 seconds. I don't know what's going on with my screen here on my green screen. So there's our pop-up. It's been running for 8 hours, or sorry, 8 days, 14 hours, 48 minutes, 31 seconds. So yeah, that's what that's doing. You know, I'd push OK, it's going to do that check. But yeah, basically that's it. Pretty simple, but very, very useful in, you know, especially a company where you have hundreds of people possibly using your script and they're just not doing what they're supposed to. Yeah, it happens. You know, I had one guy one time. He was like, I noticed a bug and the wording's not quite right, and I was looking, I was like, we fixed that, I fixed that. So I finally looked at what version of the software he was using, and it was like a version from like over a year ago, meaning he had not restarted his computer in over a year, so he was using old data. And that's when we really realized, like, we need to find a way to force people to do it, and we went with something like this. Instead of checking the time, though, it checked, or how long the computer's been running, it just checked if it was Saturday, and, you know, what time it was, if it was in the middle of the night, and forced to restart. And yeah, I did a video on that, so check that out. Version 2 of AutoHotkey is pretty much the same thing. Once again, it's in the bottom. It's just more different formatting. You know, your set timer looks exactly the same, except for we're putting it in some parentheses here. Once again, everything always goes inside of a function with AHK, B2. Same down here. All that's going in to these curly brackets. Sorry. A lot of just adding, you know, a few little different touches here, like our if function is going into parentheses and quotation marks down here. Same here with shutdown, looks exactly the same, just throwing some parentheses in here. So between V1, V2, it's honestly not a huge difference. It's just slight formatting changes, so you should be fine with that. But yeah, check the description below. All right, hope this helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions, yeah, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. Throwing out a video pretty much every single Saturday. Having to do with AutoHotkey's version 1, version 2. Most of my videos are going to be in both of them at the same time, because it's just easier instead of creating 2 videos for you all. And sometimes I like to branch out, so definitely subscribe if you want to try to see what else out there in the coding world exists, you know, like TypeScript, JavaScript, whatever having to do with automation that I can figure out. All right, all. See you on the next one.